WRUF FM HD2 and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Light, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Weeby Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, B&D Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
It is time to eat some lunch and talk some sports. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Sports Scene. Luis will produce it as you listen to it on WRUF and consume it however you are consuming it. We thank you for doing it. Well, what are we going to talk about today, huh? What do you think? Judging by social media, look, it's rough. When you lose like that, it is abrupt. It is final. The portal has already opened. Some Gator players are already in it. But first of all, give a lot of credit to Troy. And if you listened here or listened to the broadcast, they weren't afraid at all. They were loose. And remember, this is not a team that, is podunk you in the sense of they came from a league that got five NCAA tournament bids. So it isn't like, they were sisters of the poor and came in here. Now, was it an upset that they won? Of course it was. Was it an upset Arkansas Little Rock won, who Florida would have played here? Sure. No doubt. So, but I'll tell you, some of the things I saw and read on social media are downright embarrassing. Just embarrassing. You have every right to be critical, but my gosh. Anyway, we come to you live today, as always, from the Gator Trim Light Studio. They can make your landscaping, your home, your property, your pool area, your deck look really, really good. Full color systems, and it's all programmable right from your phone. Visit GatorTrimLight.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. And we are, as always, fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. When you go see them in person, you know what to do. Make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to Southeast Car Agency. If you have a text question you want to send to us, that number 352-325-3777, brought to you by B&D Electric, professional, reliable electrical service you can trust. You can schedule at bndelectric.com. First hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Quality Plumbing. When you need a quality plumber, rely on the same company Gainesville's trusted since way back in 1984. That company is Quality Plumbing. And all of our calls come to you on the Titan MRI and Imaging phone line. Same-day scheduling available. Call them for the best MRI and affordable prices. You can find out more, TitanMRI.com. All right, we'll start with Daryl. Daryl, hello.
Hey, good afternoon, Steve. Steve, before we get into the game last night, I want to personally say to you and Jeff, I appreciate what y'all do on the radio, Steve. It's just a pleasure listening to the broadcast of you and Jeff calling a game. Sometimes the outcome ain't the way we want it, but you make everything interesting on the broadcast.
Well, I appreciate that. And, Eric, too, working with us And it's look, my first Gator baseball broadcast was in 1976 when I was a student. So, I wasn't continuous, but I'm grateful for games I can do, grateful to work with Jeff and Eric, and I appreciate that. It's a lot of fun to cover and broadcast a game.
Yeah. All right, Steve, now on to, the game last night. I'm going to be honest with you. When I seen the bracket come out, this region, I said, well, Florida should win this region like, everybody else probably thinks, and move on. I figured Miami would be the biggest competitor we'd have in this regional. But when you had the coach on last week from Troy, he said they were loose and they were a gritty bunch. I saw it out of Troy, Sunday and yesterday. Steve, them kids played with a lot of heart. And you know what? You got to tip your hat to those guys.
Of course you do. I mean, they won it, right? The thing that surprised me was not their offense, because I thought they were a good offensive team. They pitched a little bit better than what, their numbers showed. And conversely, Florida had one of its worst pitching weekends. I mean, that's been a strength of the team for a lot of the year. It was not good over the weekend.
Yeah. Steve, there's been a lot of backlash about, Sully pulling Caden McDonald. Listen, I trust in what Sully does. I mean, he knows way more about baseball than I ever thought of knowing. And, if a kid's gassed, and he only throws like 50-something pitches, I mean, I trust Sully to, take him out, but there's been a lot of backlash over that on social media, Steve, and sometimes I just think fans are delusional. And what would Florida baseball be without Kevin O'Sullivan?
Well, look, it's in the immediacy of it. I get it. There's disappointment, maybe even anger by some fans. But just don't, if you want to say Coach X needs to be fired, that's fine. I got no problem with that. It's your opinion. But when it gets to personal things, that's where I kind of draw the line. I mean, nobody feels worse about this. And I'll tell you something, from being around these kids, this was a close-knit team, one of the closer teams I've been around in a long time. And that loss hurt. You could really tell how much that loss hurt in that dugout yesterday. So, look, nobody feels good about this. A lot of what-ifs, but the season ends, and that's the way it is.
Going forward, Steve, do you think Troy's going to make some noise now? Get by Little Rock and get to Omaha?
Could. Now, sometimes the flip side can happen, right? You play your best ball. Now, they're going to host, right? So they're the higher seed, so they're going to host. But can they keep up the momentum? Because, again, look at Little Rock. They're in the same place, right? They didn't think they'd be there either.
Right.
So it's going to be a lot of fun to see these sort of Cinderellas play each other.
Yep. Steve, appreciate it as always, my man.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Rod says O'Sullivan has to recognize a problem. It's not just replacing McDonald with no reason. Well, first of all, there was a reason. So, Rodney, first of all, that's just not accurate. It's an insistence on getting runners thrown out at second, either extending a single or ill-advised steals. When did that happen in the game? Go back and count how many times we've wasted base runners. They're too important to waste them as we've done this year. It's time to reconsider who's in charge of the Gators. Rod, I think it's time to reconsider what the heck you're saying there. It's just not accurate. I mean, it isn't. Todd, he stayed after the game to observe the teams. The Florida players stayed and watched the Troy celebration. Sully did not. Yeah, he did. He walked, and Florida was very classy. They let Troy celebrate on the field. Then they had a handshake, and Sully was in the handshake line. So he did stay. Is he too comfortable and too profitable? I don't know about his finances, Todd. But no, I mean, again, I guess define that. Are you saying he doesn't have the fire anymore? if that's the case, again, that's wrong. He does. BB, I got your email yesterday, but I can't read it today because it's not germane to today, so I didn't want you to think I didn't see it. And Tony, I got yours too because he asked me to break down each group of the World Cup and predict each game from start to the finals. And he knows, my man Tony knows, that ain't happening for me, okay? But thank you for that. And then Dustin asked if there were pitching limits or rest days off in college. I don't think there is, but don't hold me to that. But it is certainly look-upable. Hopefully today, by the way, if all goes right, Santa Fe College has completed a very successful softball season, making the National Junior College World Series. Hopefully Coach Webster is going to join us today. Tomorrow, Dick Girardi is going to join us to talk about the Preakness coming up. And so that's all going to be happening. Let's go back to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Julie is there. Hi, Julie.
Hi, Steve. I've never called in before, but I listen to you guys, and I listen to Jeff and Zach as well. And I haven't looked at social media, so I don't really want to look at social media. But you know what? I just really enjoyed the ride, kind of like what you said. And, you know, you have to give credit to Troy, obviously. And then I went to both games on Sunday and then last night, and I'm one that I go and then I stay through the end because no matter what's going on. And I just enjoyed the ride. And then I just had a couple of other comments.
Sure.
And one was that, and I'm not I've never played baseball, so I don't know, but I just feel like Carson Bowen behind the plate, like during the SEC tournament when they had the ABS system and he had to, you know, make decisions about, you know, whether he was going to challenge something. And I just think that he did a really good job, like trying to manage all that. And then Landon Strickling, I felt like he really was was having to put himself out there, trying to catch all the kind of crazy balls that came to him to first base to get people out. So anyway, I just thought it was, you know, I enjoyed the whole season. So.
Okay. Appreciate it, Julie. Thank you for
I think we should trust Sully. You know, I just think, like, he saw, you know, he knows what's going on in the dugout.
Okay.
So.
Thank you for your call, Julie. Appreciate it. By the way, see about Alex Condon? Yeah, he was named to Basketball Australia's 12-man roster for the FIBA World Cup. So congratulations to him. We'll take a break, come back. Man, I got lots of emails, lots of texts. Call us. This is a Tuesday edition of Sports Scene coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio and fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Jaden Haynes. Florida baseball's national championship hopes have came to an end at the hands of Troy yesterday. The final score was 10-2, with Coach O'Sullivan's eyes geared toward the future of Florida baseball.
To be honest with you, we started recruiting today. The timing of it is kind of weird, like you're playing a regional final game and the portal opens. Our official visit's starting tomorrow, all week long. So there's not a whole lot of time to reflect. We got to get better. You know, certain areas we got to get better at.
For a full look at Florida's baseball season, look to WRUF.com. Florida had a trio of players named to the ballot for the 2027 College Football Hall of Fame class Monday. Alex Brown, Kevin Carter, and Percy Harvin looking to become the latest Gators inducted. The list will be finalized early next year. Florida has 15 members of the Hall, 10 players, and 5 coaches.
Hey, it's Steve Russell for Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. Friends, they've been in business for 45-plus years, and the Cousins family has done just one thing, but man, they've done it right. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late-model, low-mileage vehicles. I'm driving one right now, have been for a very long time. They've treated me right. They'll do the same thing for you. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
In the mood for a delicious Asian fusion cuisine for lunch? Then head to P.F. Chang's in Gainesville. They have lunch specials starting at just $11.99. Happy hour, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Enjoy $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Wednesdays are girls' night with half-price wine and champagne bottles. And any day, anytime, sip house and lucky cocktails for $8.99. Celebrate every meal at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch, drinks, and fun.
It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their Philly sub with fries, thinly sliced beef cooked to perfection and topped with peppers, onions and mushrooms, and provolone cheese on a baguette.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Craving bold, authentic Cuban flavor? Head to Mi Apa Latin Cafe, where every bite brings the taste of Cuba straight to your table. From iconic Cuban sandwiches and fresh flaky empanadas to rich café con leche and perfectly sweet plantains. Every dish is made fresh daily for a true Latin experience. Proudly serving the community for over 23 years. And a proud supporter of the Florida Gators, Mi Apa now features 6 convenient locations ready to welcome you. Dine-in, drive-thru, to-go, or catering, Mi Apa is your choice for crowd-pleasing Cuban favorites. Mi Apa Latin Cafe, the best Cuban food north of Miami.
In a world of big banks, there's only one truly local choice in Gainesville, Gala Bank. Locally owned and operated, Gala Bank is built by people who live here, work here, and care about this community. With over 350 years of combined banking experience, you'll always get trusted guidance and personal service you can count on. And with convenient 7 to 7 hours, Monday through Saturday, banking works around your schedule, not the other way around. Local bank, local people. Gala Bank. Member FDIC.
Connecting with WRUF at Sports Scene just got easier. Call, email, watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. And now text us on the B&D Electric text line at 352-325-3777. That's 352-325-3777. Gator baseball fans, don't miss On Deck with Steve Russell and Jeff Cardoso live every Monday at 1 on WRUF. Get baseball and softball breakdowns, player analysis, and SEC previews. Listen live or anytime on the WRUF app, YouTube, or Facebook. On Deck, it's a hit. You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Don't forget our email, srussell@wruf.com, brought to you by International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. Great designer jewelry, wedding bands, watches, just really fine jewelry at International Diamond Center. If you have a YouTube question, Luis gets it to us. Brought to you by Campus, USA Credit Union, where Coach Spurrier does his banking, founded on the UF campus, serving our community for 90 years. And Facebook Live questions, courtesy of Ruse Ogra, State Farm, your go-to agent in Gainesville and North Central Florida for car, home, casualty, and life insurance. Email, William, not going to overreact, but yesterday was not Sully's finest hour coaching. Realize you're going to say hindsight's 20/20, but there are a ton of timestamps out there, fans questioning his decisions in real time. Taking McDonald out was a choice for sure. Absolutely it was. Letting Sandy walk the bases loaded was a choice. Yes. Starting Walls when Sandy was available for a couple of innings was a choice. Feels like at times Sully overcoaches. The guy's forgotten more baseball than any of us know, but he didn't have a good feel for this team. I still say having McDonald, who was a Cape All-Star, sitting the bench for most of the year offensively, was criminal. Let's get to David. David, hi.
Good afternoon, Steve. First, let me say great job by you and Jeff this baseball season calling the games. It was a disappointing finish, Steve, but you know what? I mean, that was a hell of a team. They just ran into a hot team. You know what, Steve? In 2006, my Cardinals won the World Series with a regular season record of 83 and 78. And David Eckstein was the MVP that year. But, I mean, sometimes you just run into a hot team. It happens. What was disappointing was the final game where we did not hit it all, swinging at a lot of bad pitches. And to try to put that off on Sully, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, you know, it kind of reminds me, Steve, of when our Gator Nation was never satisfied, and that was part of the reason Spurrier left. They don't understand just how good of a coach Sully is because he's got us in it every single year.
Look, there's a lot of ways fans evaluate coaches. And I think, you know, it's funny. Softball got to a super regional, and they had a hell of a year, right? But I don't hear anybody criticizing Tim Walton, you know, for whatever happened there. And I'm not saying he should be criticized. But, you know, that was a loss at home, just like this was, although that was in a super as opposed to a regional. But, look, when you play a series like this, when you play Major League Baseball, you play 162 games. And if you have a bad series, you have a bad 2 weeks, you can make up for it. If you have this is the worst Florida pitched maybe all year because they just weren't very good. Well, is that Sully's fault? I mean, I guess it is. He's the head coach, right? But, I mean, Aiden King had a poor outing. Poor guy hadn't had one. He had one. Peterson didn't have a good outing, right? Sandifer was really good as a starter, and he couldn't throw a strike as a reliever. So, you know, is that on Sully? I guess it is. He's the head coach.
Well, but the thing about it is, Steve, you have to go with what you've got. And you've got to base it on past performance. And you just mentioned that all of those guys, except for Liam Peterson. Liam Peterson he's been a disappointment when you consider the huge potential that guy's got with all the talent he's got. But that's another story for another day. I don't think you can put that on Sully when these pitchers have performed in the past, especially Aiden King. I mean, we ended up winning that game. But Aiden King has been lights out most of this season. Mm-hmm. So is that Sully's fault that he didn't pitch well that night? But anyway, great show, Steve. Keep up the good work.
David, thank you. Drew says my biggest takeaway from the weekend, with a lot of takeaways, is that the ABS needs to be standardized in NCAA tournament play. We'll see what happens with that. Mike says it's not how they lost. They got embarrassed on national television. Gators need a new pitching coach. Mike, I'm sorry. Pitching was the strength of this team. Now, did it have holes? Sure it did. Lugo Canchola was the only lefty out of the bullpen, and he was not good down the stretch. He wasn't. Okay? But Aiden King, you know, I mean, anyway, we will see. Let's get Tampa Mike. Heard you say several times Troy played looser, less pressure, like that was the key to them winning. How do you know that? Because I watched them on the field, Mike. That's how I know it. I broadcast the game. That's how I know it. I interviewed their coach before the game on the bus on the way here, and they were loose as heck. That's why I know it. They had just as much to lose as UF. Of course they did, but not in the same manner. If there's any pressure, it's always on the team that's supposed to win. He thinks it's a cop-out. Troy just flat out beat UF. I didn't say they didn't. Again, I never said that. Often we look for subjective reasons why our team lost rather than just giving the opposing team credit. I gave the opposing team credit if you heard me at the start of the show. Anybody ask about UF's approach? To subjectively think they were looser simply because they won is shallow. Mental approach to games are difficult to read and maybe better to stick with objective evidence. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? I mean, that sounds like a term paper for a law class as opposed to sports. Simple. They played better than Florida. How about that? You want to get break down to simple things, Mike? That's it, period. They did, and they deserve credit for that. YouTube comment brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union RC. Florida brought a knife to a gunfight. It sucks, but that's sports. Move on. Get ready for next season. Brian, to say last night's winner-take-all game performance was underwhelming, wouldn't do it justice. However, Troy played outstanding in the 2 games, deserves the credit. They were just better this weekend. Agreed. Hope the fan base won't start the Sully needs to go nonsense as these things happen. UCLA, Georgia Tech, FSU, Southern Miss can attest to this as well. Sully's an amazing coach. Another team ready for 2027. Thanks to the players and staff for a good season. While I can't define it as great, as no hard work came home, Florida still made the tourney for the 19th year in a row, and to get a top 8 seed is a major accomplishment. It is, but unfortunately, it's a hollow one based on, what happened. BB, I've always wondered something about the fans, broadcasters, players, support staff, and coaches. Most of us remember the poem, Casey at Bat, how it ends that fateful day in Mudville. Like I have so many times after reading that poem and after heartbreaking season-ending defeats, I couldn't help but wonder, is it that very day of the defeat that feels the worst, or is it the morning after when you wake up and suddenly remember there's no next game? I can tell you both. Both. I mean, the immediate, if you looked in the dugout last night where we were, there were just players who were stunned at what happened. They didn't expect that. They expected to win. They expected to move on to a super regional. But again, today, you wake up just like I did and thought, you know what? I'm not doing a baseball game anymore. I'm not going to do a super regional game. I'm not going to have a chance to go to Omaha this year. So it's both. I'm telling you, it is both. And it is not easy sometimes. Byron, hello.
Hey, Steve. Steve, before we get into this conversation, I want to give Troy credit. And I went to small colleges, Steve. And so I'm definitely hats off to them. So before I get going, I'm not trying to be, this crying about the coaching and all that. I'm going from another perspective. And we were kind of talking about it yesterday. So, Steve, I want to just ask you, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse with the NIL, and Little Rock and Troy is hosting the regional. But, Steve, what do the minor leagues or the AAA play pay compared to college now? And do you see, this is what I was trying to hint at, why wouldn't a college, a guy, I would go to college and make the same amount of money and get a degree because I always wanted a degree, but just for GP. But I'm trying to ask you, without trying to complain, wouldn't that make it better now? Because why would you play AAA, A, or AA and sign when you can make the same money in college? And is that happening? Maybe I'm looking at it again too far.
I think I see what you're trying to say, but it doesn't work in the realm of the sport. Okay, you can be a high school player and sign a pro contract, never go to college.
Right. That's
okay.
Right.
Well, those are the ones that are very high, usually very high draft choices, and and they don't want to go to college. Well, if you're in college, can you make the choice to say, if I'm not gonna make that money, then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make my NIL money, and then I'll get drafted, and then I'll go play pro baseball. That's the way this works.
And I think that's what they're doing, Steve. That's why these guys can hit so well. I don't think the pitching is really bad. I think the hitting has improved. And you were talking yesterday, I don't know if the ball's juice. I don't get into that, Steve. If you can hit it, it's going. If you're hitting it, you can go back to the baseball with the steroids. And real quick, Steve, Mitchell is one of my favorite big men on the Knicks and in the NBA. tell me about his injury status. Will that make a difference? And have you heard anything about that pinky? And will that stop it from being good tonight or whenever they play? Thank you, Steve. Go Gators. Go Knicks.
Byron, thank you. He's supposed to play, and, I mean, we'd be speculating. We don't know how it's going to affect him. We'll have to see. But hopefully it won't affect him too much. We'll take a break, come back. More sports scene to come. Don't forget, all of our guests come to you courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. Meldon Law won't back down. Back with more sports scene on WRUF.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator Sports, WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away, and they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America?
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center in Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at FLLegends.com. That's FLLegends.com.
If you're looking for premium, high-quality food served in an unforgettable atmosphere, you're going to love brunch at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
This is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet.
Complete with build-your-own omelet station, served every Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Reservations are encouraged, and walk-ins are always welcome.
Plus, you can enjoy bottomless, mimosas, and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
It's game day. Lights on, fans ready, everything running like it should. Now imagine your home performing at that same level. No flickering lights, no tripping breakers, no last-minute surprises. With B&D Electric, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver reliable service you can count on every time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Schedule your service today at www.bdelectric.com. That's bdelectric.com.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy Chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
WRUF, where Gator Nation comes alive. 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. We are going to wrap up Santa Fe College softball. In case you don't know the year that they had, their head coach, Savannah Webster, is going to recap for us here what they made to the National Junior College World Series. So, Savannah, welcome. For those who don't know, first of all, having broadcast a lot of games and sitting through rain delays, my gracious, how many of those did you have in Alabama?
I think it's easier to say how many did we not have, and I don't think we started a single game on time. I don't recall having a single game start on time. So it was a lot. It was five days of chaos and rain delays and a lot of fun.
I mean, I understand it's the same for every team that's there, in some ways, but I mean, did that throw things off, or did the kids kind of react and, hey, this is what we have to do, let's go out and play?
No, I think it was the opposite. I think the kids had more fun with it. We got more bus time. We got in some locker rooms. We got more hotel time and got to play a couple night games that we wouldn't have gotten to play before, other than that. So I actually think it worked out in our favor.
How was this season for you? I mean, obviously getting to the National Junior College World Series is a great accomplishment for you, Savannah, but how rewarding was this season for you?
Yeah, it was more rewarding, to see the accolades and stuff happen for the kids that worked hard. It was a goal for us from day one to make it to the national tournament. The year before we fell one game short, and so it was rewarding to see all of the, hard work that the kids put in the fall and to come through and really put in for the last 2 years to, kind of reach that goal was really rewarding.
I promoted you were going to come on today, and I actually have two people who emailed questions for you. How about that?
That's awesome. That's
yes.
super cool.
Yeah, Dan, he said, Coach, congratulations on a great year. Do you have a transfer portal at the junior college level?
We do not have a transfer portal, so it's something that we have tried to implement with the NCAA and see if we could do something like that for them. But we do not have the traditional transfer portal for the NJCAA.
And a related one, I think, here, Mike says, Coach, congratulations on a big year. When do you start the recruiting process, and how long does that run?
Yeah, the recruiting process never ends for us here. At the 4-year level, there's some what we call quiet periods, dead periods, like when you can't contact kids in person or bring them on visits, et cetera, all that different stuff. But here for us, for me personally, it's year round. Like I'm actually, we had tournaments going this last weekend. We got back on Saturday. People were playing Sunday. My staff and I are going to be out this weekend recruiting. We're already on phone calls with people, transfers, kids for next year, all that stuff. Like it literally never stops.
And this is my question. From a roster standpoint, do you have heavy losses? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, at this level, we have big losses every year. So it's the difficult thing about being at a junior college is you're turning over a lot of kids, and we're turning over 10 kids this year. And all of them were very impactful players for us on and off the field.
This is a very general question, and I hope it's a good one to ask. But when you go out and look for a kid, I understand it depends on the position and what you're looking for, et cetera. But when you recruit somebody, Savannah, what are you looking for in that athlete to fit into your program?
Yeah, I think the big thing for us is just we want to have, like, you get your stuff that you like, right? Like each coach maybe likes more of this type of hitter, like are they going to hit home runs, or maybe they bunt, or they want speed. You do things like that. Like obviously we have those things that we're looking at that fit our need as coaches, like what works for us best to help the kids be better. But I also think too, like the most important thing for us is it going to be a personality fit for our team, right? Are they going to fit in with the girls, the coaching staff? Are they like-minded with us? Like, does it bring in and add to the team that way? Because I think for us, like a lot of success that happened these last 2 years has been a lot of culture for the kids. Like they just really get along and enjoy being around each other. So I think that's a really big piece for us.
Last thing, look, nobody, when I had you on toward the beginning of the year, I'm not going to ask you, hey, do you have a team that you think can make the National Junior College World Series? Because that's kind of a stupid question. But when you started the year, though, given the talent that you had, Savannah, did you think this would be a team that could go a long way?
I think the goal from us from day one was to win the state tournament or, to be in a situation to get that out large. So to say that it's an expectation for us, I think that's kind of a harsh word, but it was a big goal for us. It was the number one centerpiece for us week in and week out was like the things that we're doing is to get us to the national tournament. You never know. Things happen for us, but we brought in a lot of really talented freshmen, transfers, and then the core group of kids that we had come back from last year. I think the reality was that we could get to the national tournament. So I think there was a lot of belief that that was a possibility for us.
Well, congratulations on a heck of a year, and thank you for coming on and talking about your team. Appreciate it, and I know the process never stops, so you'll be busy, but thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Go Saints.
You got it, Savannah. Thank you. Savannah Webster has done a great job as the softball coach over at Santa Fe College. Let's go back to our emails here. International Diamond Center email. Art says, thanks to you and Jeff for the great broadcast this season. Enjoyable. Wish we had a few more weekends. Thank you, Art. And, yeah, I can speak for Jeff. That is certainly something that we would like to have had, too. Richard, why didn't we see Christian Rodriguez all year? That's a good question. I mean, look, I think he went to the Cape, but he had a terrific year. But they just didn't trust him. And when he did pitch, he wasn't effective. So that's the best thing I can tell you. A lot of it is trust. And, he just didn't perform when he got a chance. Dustin, Stanley Cup, Vegas, Carolina should be a great series. Vegas trying to win second title in franchise history out of 9 years, been to the Cup final 3 times. Carolina's 12-1 in postseason. Only 2 Montreal Canadiens teams did that late 60s, early 70s. Both won the Cup. Love both teams, but I'm taking Carolina and Freddie Anderson to be the MVP. Okay? Thank you for that. And now we will open the phone lines for you. 392-8255. That's the Titan MRI and Imaging phone line. And again, the International Diamond Center email, srussell@wruf.com. Obviously, today I left a lot of this to talk about baseball. Greg, in your opinion or personal knowledge, do you think Coach O'Sullivan listens to your show? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure sometimes he does. Well, I know sometimes he does. There's a reason he does that, especially after a series like this one with Troy. No, and I can tell you why, because they are so busy right now with the portal, figuring out, who's going to leave here, figuring out who they want, because the portal's already open, Greg. And he says, thanks for the Dr. Steve work for the Gator Nation today. Yeah, I think Sully, especially today, has a lot better things to do than listen to me. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and again, we'll open the phone lines for you, emails too. You're listening to Sports Scene, coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Jaden Haynes. An historic season came to an end over the weekend for Santa Fe softball. The Saints were eliminated from the Junior College World Series by Temple College. They finished the season 48-17, their most wins since 2008 and the fewest losses since 2021. Florida baseball lost to Troy yesterday, ending their season. Troy beat the Gators 10-2. Here's Coach O'Sullivan on the Gators' inconsistency.
It was a little inconsistent, and I think the inconsistencies, whether it be offensively or pitching-wise, like this weekend, when you're inconsistent, it's very difficult to make consistent decisions. Never in my wildest dreams would I think that Russ would come in and walk 3 and have the leadoff man 1 and 2. I got all the trust in the world in him.
For a full look at baseball season, check out WRUF.com. Gators Hoops open their season against Miami in Tampa on November 2nd.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
It's the grand opening of the all-new Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC. We've just received a special factory allocation of GMC trucks and SUVs. New GMC Sierra, $329 per month. New GMC Canyon, $299 per month. We sell more, so you save more. At Davis Gainesville Chevrolet of the all-new Davis Gainesville GMC on North Main Street in the heart of Gator Country and at GainesvilleChevyGMC.com.
36-month leases, $84.99 due at signing plus tax title and dock. All rebates and incentives to dealer may include loyalty, subject to lender approval. Expires month end. Together, let's drive.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable, and when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference between a minor sprain and a significant issue. The team at UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine provide expert orthopedic care with locations in Gainesville and Ocala for everything from walk-in treatments to specialized surgeries and complex cases. Choose the providers who care for Team USA. Visit ufhealth.org/orthoexperts to learn more. Proud provider for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Medical Network.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Hot and humid this afternoon with increasing clouds, heat index values in the upper 90s. By the evening, we do expect thunderstorms to develop across north central Florida, and a few storms this evening could produce heavy rain rates and pockets of localized flash flooding. A few showers hanging on after sunset, otherwise mostly cloudy skies tonight, turning very breezy, humidity dropping, lows in the morning near 70. From the WUFD Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
The John Sumrall era begins this September. Catch every game right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM. We are your home for Gator Sports.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Luis, our producer today. Don't forget all of our guests, courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. Meldon Law won't back down. Marshall's with us. Hi, Marshall.
Steve, I'm an old guy who grew up thinking of Santa Fe and St. John's, all those as junior colleges.
Okay.
I understand they all have 4-year programs now. Is that correct?
I'm not sure if all of them do. I'm not sure of that.
Okay. But those that do, can their kids still play sports for 4 years?
No, I don't believe that's true.
Okay. So they're kind of stuck back at the traditional rather than – because I know in Jacksonville, what used to be Florida Junior College, I guess it's Florida State College at Jacksonville or something. I mean, you go there and you can get a 4-year degree.
Yeah, I'm not sure
so,
if it's that way at Santa Fe. I'm just being honest. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe somebody can text me, and maybe somebody from Santa Fe is listening, but I don't – because I've always thought it was just 2 years, but I could be wrong.
From a standpoint of the baseball side, I think it was terrific that they've had a great softball year. Did I hear that they did also very well
baseball,
on the baseball
at
side?
Santa Fe, no, they did not. They did not have a good year.
Okay. All right, so whatever I heard was attributed to the softball. Well, that's great.
Correct.
Thanks so much for having her on. That was nice.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. Yeah, they did not have the kind of baseball season that they've had in the past, and certainly it was a terrific year for softball. Softball. John says there's been a lot of online discussion about Trey Phelps getting ejected along with Wes Johnson. That's the Georgia coach. If you didn't see this, Phelps hit a homer, and I mean, just acted. I mean, he's a cocky dude, and he, was a hot dog around the bases, and they tossed him. He said, "I don't blame Johnson for standing up for his guy, but Phelps needed to have more class. Do you think that his missing the first game of the Super could be a factor? That's the most consequential part. Could be, but you don't do that. There's no reason to do that, John. And that's why I just think it's, that's a selfish act when you do something like that. And I just think it's really not the way to go. By the way, in case you missed it, Auburn advanced to a super regional. Kentucky lost a heartbreaker. They were ahead late, but West Virginia came back and beat them 6-5. And Oklahoma knocked out Georgia Tech 8-7. Oklahoma advancing to a super regional. And USC beat Texas A&M 7-1. So A&M's out. So, again, there were teams. When we saw Oklahoma, if somebody would have said to me, sitting in that broadcast booth that day, Oklahoma was going to a super regional, I'd have bet the farm they wouldn't. I'm going to go back to what I've said. It's how you play that given weekend. And that's not an excuse, because if you don't play well, you're out. And that happened to Florida. So, but I'm just saying to you that you can get hot, and all of a sudden, things are going pretty well for you. Bob emails. I can't believe people are saying Coach O'Sullivan should be fired. However, he said, it's a disappointing loss. No question. No question. I got an email from somebody who should know about Santa Fe. Says they offer several baccalaureate degrees. Thank you, Larry, for that. Mike said giving up 26 runs in 2 games is a serious problem. Pitching was poor the whole regional. Agreed. I said they didn't pitch well. No question. Let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Boxing Jim, hello.
Hey, Steve, listen, I don't want to take anything away from Troy. I mean, my hat's off to them. They beat in Miami, Florida, and Ryder, and now they're going to host a super regional. I'm glad to see the smaller schools come on. Don't want to see it against Florida, of course, but now that brings me to this. For the last season, maybe the one before, in my opinion, I think Florida needs to let old Sullivan go and get a new baseball coach. That's the way I feel about it, and that's it.
Why do you say that?
I think he's gone as far as he's going here. I just think it's his time to make a change. He's been here a long time, and Florida seems like every year they start off. I mean, and then they just steady go downhill. And Florida, they should be hosting the Super Regional. They're not. And I put most of it on the coach. I think it's just time to get a new coach. Time for a new baseball coach in Florida. And I felt that way the last couple of seasons, and I'm going to change my mind.
What do you think the expectation is of the baseball program?
Well, I think the expectation is you get to Omaha.
Well, then I guess you should fire Tim Walton, too.
Well, Tim's had a little more, in my opinion, a little more success.
Well, but if you're telling me that the expectation for baseball is to get to Omaha, then isn't the expectation for softball to get to Oklahoma City?
Well, of course. And listen, I guess somebody's going to have to get off their pocketbook. Okay, it's shameful. I'm totally against paying the player, but it is. That's the way it is now. Okay, it is what it is, and somebody's going to have to put out some money, and I guess buy softball teams, baseball teams, and even football teams anymore. If that's the way it is, that's I don't like it one bit, but that's the way it is. Texas Tech looks like somebody's been putting out big money, and it's showing right now. I mean, they're having the success they're having, and I guess it's because of money and because of the Benjamin, Steve.
Well, but then how is Troy successful?
Well, every once in a while,
how is Arkansas Little Rock successful?
Yeah, well, every once in a while, you can put together enough good guys, enough good players that can get there. But that doesn't happen every season.
No, it does not. I agree with you. All right, Jim, appreciate you. Thank you. And the ironic thing of this, the all-regional team here, Kurland, Lawson, Jones, McDonald, and Sandifer were all on it. And they lost. Happens. All right, Bob, hang on. I'll get to you at the top of the hour. That's our first hour of Sports Scene. Come back and join us. We'll take your questions, calls, and comments. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
Tampa Bay Rays baseball tonight on WRUF.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com and let your brand shine.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial.
And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com.
This summer, bring every game home. Baseball, soccer, golf, like never before with a stunning new home theater system from Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, surveillance, and smart home solutions. Delivering the best products, the best service, and the best price. Don't just watch the game, live it at Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, home surveillance, and smart home installation and service. Visit electronicsworldfl.com for more. That's electronicsworldfl.com.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
I just got another NBA offer from Hard Rock Bet.
A Hard Rock Bet promo at the Hard Rock Bet Party? That is so meta.
That's not meta. That's Meta World Peace. Meta. Tell them about Hard Rock Bet.
Hard Rock Bet has it all. Live odds for every NBA game, every player prop, same game parlays, you name it. It's the only place I play these days.
Okay, now that is meta.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by Gator Trim Light, Campus USA Credit Union, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Fairlife Milk, Domino's Pizza, International Diamond Center, Meldon Law, Miapa Latin Cafe, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Quality Plumbing, Sensei Asian Bistro, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Titan MRI and Imaging, the UF Bookstore, Gala Bank, B&D Electric, and the Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Welcome into Hour 2 of Sports Scene, our first hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Quality Plumbing. And this hour brought to you in part by Domino's Pizza. Don't forget, nobody delivers like Domino's. Whether you're picking up or ordering delivery, fast, easy, just a click away. Order now at GatorDomino's.com. We come to you fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. The best in late model, low mileage vehicles. I was just driving here today, and I was at a red light. I saw a car in front of me with a Southeast Car Agency tag and a car to my right with one. It was cool to see. When you go see them in person, tell them Sports Scene sent you to go over there. And we come to you from the Gator Trim Light Studio. They can make your pool area, your landscaping, your yard look really, really great. They do good work, and you can visit them at GatorTrimLight.com. If you have a text you want to give us for your question, that's easy. The number, 352-325-3777, and that's brought to you by B&D Electric, professional, reliable electrical service you can trust. You can schedule with them at bdelectric.com. All right. Let's get to our phones. Bernard is there first. Bernard, hello.
Yeah, Steve, baseball, touch your subject today first. I saw Trey Phelps. Question to you about the rules. He was thrown out. Steve, could he been called out and the home run disallowed, or they give him a single after he touches first base and he's called okay? No. He had to be able to complete the home run. Then after that, he's thrown out.
Correct.
Okay, I saw that. That was crazy. Steve, softball and baseball, an SEC where it means more. Softball team, and these teams play enough games where you see you get a feel for what they do. Softball team, you knew that not having a second pitcher was going to be a problem, and it was. And on the level they play, this level of competition, your weaknesses rear their head at the most inopportune time. Same thing happened baseball team yesterday, Steve. You went back to a guy that had been taken out the rotation. Basically, they were dead man walking. You talked to the Troy coach on the bus last week, stopped in Tallahassee. That guy was brimming with confidence. You know, you use your top three pitchers. Now when you think about it, look, they have used the guy that pitched the first game, Steve, and threw him yesterday because basically, Steve, once they beat Peterson, Florida was done. Florida needed Peterson to pitch a hell of a game so you wouldn't have to play a second game on Monday against Troy. You know, I mean, the weaknesses, the deficiencies of the baseball team reared its head, and that's why their season is over. That's why Troy is moving on. I think, Steve, the NIL, Sully has proven himself. Hopefully they can give him some more money and he can go out and get some players. Lastly, that Cato McDonald, that guy was a godsend at the end of the season, Steve, pitching and hitting. He was definitely a bright spot. Steve, take care and have a good day, okay? Talk to you later.
Thank you, Bernard. Is this Dex? Is that right? Dex, hello?
Hey, Steve?
Yes, sir.
Hey. No, this is Dick in St. Pete. How you
I'm
doing?
sorry. I have Dex on my phone here.
No,
Sorry
it's
about
okay.
that. Okay.
My throat. I get this phone. I'm a diehard Gator fan. I love the Gators in every sport, and sometimes I do all work here, so I have these rose-colored glasses. But I was really disappointed this weekend. I would have to say that this is probably one of the more disappointing weekends of Gator baseball that I've seen in a long time. I thought the pitching was horrendous. I think, the Miami game, we scored runs. We scratched some against Troy that first game, but I thought we took some bad hacks a lot of times. I mean, to me, Troy looked like the better team this weekend. And I just think, with what we had, the path got a little bit better in shape for us as the team got eliminated in Hattiesburg. And I don't know if Sullivan didn't have our team prepared like he maybe should have, but I just thought, we had a lot to play for, and we just didn't look like we were really that with it this weekend. I just think it was a disappointing showing in coaching, pitching-wise, and I think, we scored some runs, but we took a lot of bad hacks, I thought, too. I thought Troy was much more disciplined at the plate. They barreled the ball up much better than we did, and I don't think the other better team, we played 10 times, but this weekend they looked like the better team, in my opinion.
Well, they are the better team. They won.
So, I mean, I don't think the better team always wins. I mean, we play them 10
well,
times.
I just said this weekend they're the better team. They won.
Yes.
Period.
But another thing too. So our pitchers, Kevin Sullivan gets some of the top pitchers in the state throughout the country. He's gotten some guys from Stoneman Douglas the last few years but our pitching just really does not look that well. I mean, we don't throw strikes. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that impressed with our pitching. At Aiden King, obviously, but Liam Peterson, I think, has been a disappointment. I mean, his record this year was 2-7, something like that. He doesn't seem to throw well in big games. You never know what you're going to get at a bullpen. I mean, if you're going to get a guy that throws strikes, doesn't throw strikes, I think the pitching staff needs a lot of work for getting elite pitchers coming out of high school and stuff, some of the best in the country. I don't know. They just look like they need some work. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed with the pitching staff. What do you think?
For the most part, the pitching was probably the strength of the team, for the most part. But this is what happened. Aiden King was terrific. Liam Peterson was not. And then Jackson Barberi getting hurt, I think, affected things. Now, injuries are part of the game, right? But I think you saw when he pitched, pretty effective. What took them so long to get Caden McDonald in there? Well, I mean,
right.
What you see, we don't see in the fall. How did he do? But he ended up being pretty good. Sandifer was in and out. And
Rittenauer pitched hardly at all this weekend, right?
Right.
I mean,
But his ERA was over 5. He didn't have a terrific year. Lugo Canchola was really good at the start and then couldn't get anybody out when his ERA was almost 6 at the end. Cooper Walls, who was the Sunday starter, ERA over 7. So, yes, I mean, there were some disappointments on the mound, no doubt.
Yeah. All right, but hey, go Gators next year. I'm sure we're gonna have another good team, and we'll be pushing for them.
All right, thank you, Dave.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I got a text from somebody I know, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but here's what the text said. We choked, the word choked, in gymnastics. We choked in softball. We choked in baseball. We choked in basketball. Not a good year. I literally had to read that 3 times to make sure I was reading it correctly. And I'm not saying that person is what every Gator fan is thinking, but I just thought, I don't want you for a fan of my team. Because what you're telling me is, with that, if you don't win at all, I mean, what did men's basketball finish? They choked? So if you don't win the whole thing, you choke. If you don't win the whole thing, you suck. I don't want you as a fan of my team. I don't. Because that standard is impossible. Impossible. You know how hard it is to finish in the top 5 of something? It's hard. Now, granted, can you be a little frustrated if you keep finishing 5th or 4th and you don't win it? Sure. I think a coach would tell you that. But wow, choked for all those sports? Tony, this is just day after frustration, but the expectation for the baseball program should be to host a regional and make the supers. I don't like saying that somebody needs to get out of their wallet and pay for players. That's just the way to blame fans, and B, you can't put a price on it. Grit, determination, and passion for the game. More often than not, dugout seems flatlined unless we get an early lead. For most of the season and last season, any serious sign of adversity, the team usually crumbles. Well, I would disagree with that, Tony, and I'll tell you why. You think the team, let's take last year's team, okay? How'd they start out? How many injuries did they have? Did they flatline? Did they not have grit or determination to regroup and do what they did in the SEC just to make a regional? Because if they did what you're talking about, they wouldn't have done that. It's all when you lose. If Florida lost 2 out of 3 at LSU to end the regular year, and they won this regional, no one would have said 2 words about losing a series at LSU because you won a regional. Were there times this year, Tony, the dugout needed a boost? Yes. Kevin O'Sullivan said it. So you're not wrong in that. But I don't think it was like that this weekend. Florida was in the driver's seat. They got kicked out of it. And sometimes you tip your hat to the other group. David says, who are the players that Florida's losing in the portal? There's 3 pitchers. I think Miller is one. Jenkins and Cooper Moss, I think. Those are the three that I am aware of at this point. I think Florida will lose maybe 6 or 7 players in the portal when all is said and done. We will see. But like Sully said, the portal's open. They're already hosting people. It never stops. We'll take a break, come back. More Sports Scene coming. Again, first hour brought to you by Quality Plumbing. This hour brought to you by Domino's Pizza. You're listening to WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Tori Kitchens. Baseball season is over in Gainesville. After taking a 2-0 lead in the bracket, the Gators fell twice to Troy, including the 10-2 final last night. Caden McDonald was the steady force in pitching before Coach Kevin O'Sullivan made the move to the bullpen.
It's always easy to second guess. I saw him in the dugout. He looked gassed. And I think the most number of pitches he's thrown this year is 52. We knew we were going to go to Russ. I did not want to bring Russ in with runners on base because he had been starting, so he was going to start from the windup. It's a lot to ask somebody to be a two-way player.
Sully is already recruiting out of the portal with an emphasis on left-handed pitchers. Alex Condon is heading back home for the summer. The Australian center was selected to be a part of his home country's national team. Condon is a part of the 12-man roster to compete in the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers in Perth in early July.
Friends, if somebody's been in business for 45 plus years, doesn't that tell you something? Trust, longevity. Well, that is the case with my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville. The Cousins family has operated that business for the past 45 plus years, and they specialize in just one thing. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Great variety, great selection. I'm driving one now, have been for years. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Connecting with WRUF at Sports Scene just got easier. Call, email, watch on YouTube or Facebook Live. And now text us on the B&D Electric text line at 352-325-3777. That's 352-325-3777. Gator baseball fans, don't miss On Deck with Steve Russell and Jeff Cardoso live every Monday at 1 on WRUF. Get baseball and softball breakdowns, player analysis, and SEC previews. Listen live or anytime on the WRUF app, YouTube, or Facebook. On deck, it's a hit.
The Tailgate with Jeff Cardozo and Zach Albuquerque. Weekdays at 4, right here on WRUF.
Well, we're entering that time. It's June. And after this, boy, we got to muddle through it. By the way, make sure to check out our daily clip of the day on WRUF Facebook and YouTube at WRUF Home of the Gators, brought to you by our friends at Fairlife Milk. And don't forget tonight, Rays and the Tigers. Coverage begins at 6 after the tailgate with Jeff and Zach. And then that'll be followed by Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, Vegas and Carolina. That's tonight, beginning at 6, right here. Gator Men's Golf is playing right now, and they got some work to do to stick around. All right. I'm waiting. Got we got a long time. And nothing. So let's hope we can talk a little bit here. 392-8255, and you can email the show, srussell@wruf.com, International Diamond Center. What we've not had today are Facebook Live and YouTube questions. Luis, usually, getting those to me, but not today. But if you have a YouTube question, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. If you have a Facebook Live question, they are coming to you courtesy of Ruse Ogra State Farm. By the way, Vernon Hargraves been selected to the UF Athletic Hall of Fame class for 2026. He gets a rare distinction of being a first ballot selection. Played here from 2013 to 2015, Tampa kid. So congratulations to him. We are right in the middle of recruiting. Football, just got a big offensive tackle commitment, Kennedy Jackson. A kid, I think he's from Georgia, and Georgia was one of the schools that was looking at him. So that's certainly a get for Florida. Tomorrow on the show, going to have a preview of the Preakness, the last leg of the Triple Crown, and working on some other guests as well to get you down the home stretch here. I'll tell you somebody else I'm trying to get on, and I can't, is Maurice Spates. He's now a basketball coach in college, but just can't get to him for whatever the reason. But I'm trying. All right, let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Butch is there. Hi, Butch.
Hey, Steve. How are you doing? Long time.
Doing all right.
Well, this is my question. It concerns women's softball, actually. And the first one is, and if you got a little bit of time, is when you're pitching and you're a softball pitcher, you see them the first 3 times, goes through the lineup one time. The second time, are you throwing them the same pitches over again, or do you alter your second time you're seeing the hitter over the first time?
Well, softball, baseball, same question, same thing. It just totally depends, right? I'll give you an example. Blake Sear, for baseball here, has had a really good year. But he gets attacked a lot inside. And he has a tough time handling that when the pitch is made to his weak spot. And they kept attacking that. Now, they might show him some other things, right? In other words, you get ahead in the count, I'll throw you a breaking ball away just to show that to you. But I'm going to come back to your weakness. So that's what a lot of pitchers do. But it all depends on, the outlook of, what they're trying to accomplish, what the pitching coach, how they want you to attack. But generally speaking, you're going to throw to a place that you think you can get somebody out because they have a weakness there.
Okay. And this kind of takes me into my second question with the team that won last night in the World Series, Texas Tech. Is it Texas Tech?
Yes.
Okay. When you have 2 pitchers, now I realize she pitched a great game last night and she won, but they have 2 superstar pitchers that they paid a lot of money for. Why not pitch one through the rotation and then switch to the other one and then come back to the, does that make sense? Like you're throwing them a whole new pitcher that's just as good as the one you took out. So I know you notice that he switches pitchers back and forth all the time anyway. So
yeah, so I'm not because of that, I don't know the point you're trying to make there.
The point to make is you keep the batters off balance. So she throws to nine people, and then you switch pitchers, and she throws to those people over again. But she's a whole new pitcher with different strengths. Just
okay,
made more sense. If you got them, you throw them. So,
but you're making a huge assumption, assumption. That second pitcher is going to do the same thing the first one did.
All right, and
you can't make that assumption.
I'm rooting for them, and the reason I'm rooting for them is because I want it to hit home to people how you can buy a team. I don't like it. I'm an old guy, and I think that you have to get people more and more upset. And the more Alabamas and Georgias and Floridas that get upset because somebody just bought a team that could beat them, sooner or later it's going to change. And then the kind of go along with that question is I know they're trying to do like a salary cap in college ball. Would that also affect shoe deals and stuff? Or could people just go under the table and say, let's give them a shoe deal and do it, pick them up that way?
I mean, the original intent of NIL was to do a shoe deal, or hey, I'm gonna go work at appear at a card shop, and they're gonna pay me dollars to sign autographs, or I'm making a commercial for Joe's Milk. That was the original intent of NIL. Obviously, it's gone way, way past that. But I think the power brokers understand something needs to be done. The problem is, in my opinion, there's a lot of hands in the pie, and nobody's quite gotten the right formula to make it work.
All right, Steve. Thanks so much, man.
Butch, thank you. JD, welcome.
Hey, Steve, for an old New York boy, you are – I heard you say just a little while ago, all right, and I think that's spelled AWWIGHT, all right. But anyway, I kind of chuckled when I heard you say that. But anyway, baseball, just watching from afar, and I haven't, all I've seen is a few games on TV. You've been there, you broadcast. It seems like to me we started off strong with the pitching staff. The hitting was a little bit weak, and then it reversed course somewhere late in the season where the pitching was just very, very erratic. Would you agree with that big overview picture there?
No, because the word erratic. I do think pitching was a strong suit at the beginning. I mean, Aiden King, obviously the SEC Pitcher of the Year. I mean, that says a lot, right?
Yep.
Sandifer was pretty good. Peterson was not. I mean, what was he, 3-6 or whatever he was? And there were some injuries. And I think that's part of the game sometimes. But when Florida lost Barberry, I think they lost him when the pitching was starting to really come around with him. And I think that set him back a little bit. And so, he came back and did okay. But certainly, Cooper Walls, who was the Sunday starter, regressed. He was taken out of there. Some of the other guys were a little up and down. And look, when the spotlight, when you go to LSU and LSU scores runs, you look at it and go, well, LSU didn't even make the tournament. But it's who you're pitching, right? You're getting ready for the SEC tournament, so you're not throwing your normal guys. In the SEC tournament, was it horrible? No. But they just picked a bad time to not pitch well. Simple.
Yeah. Steve, I'm gonna make a quick basketball illustration to go and transpose it over to football. In high school basketball, the old saying goes, if you got two really outstanding basketball players in high school, you've got a good shot. And it used to be in college, if you had three really outstanding basketball players, you had a good shot. What would you say to go all the way in baseball, all the way through Omaha, what do you got to have starting pitching wise? You got to have 2 good ones and a pretty good one, 3 really good ones. What is there a rule of thumb? What would you say to that?
It's not a rule of thumb, but seeing all the baseball I have, it's very rare, JD, when you have 3 studs. In other words,
Okay.
You got 3 first-round, second-round guys on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is extremely rare. And then, even if you have that, right, how do they pitch on that day? I mean, there's Hall of Famers that got routed. There's Hall of Famers that didn't get out of the first inning sometimes. They're human. So almost everything is predicated upon how you do that day.
Yeah. I was thinking back to LSU a couple years ago when they had Skiles,
Skeens,
and the other Skeens, and the other starter who was really, really good.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, okay, maybe they had a third guy who was, was way above average. But anyway, I want to move on a second. I don't know whether you saw Kirby Smart's comments a couple of days ago, maybe at the Miramar there at the SEC thing, and he was talking about the SEC going off on its own because of the fact that they could control and regulate what was going and enforce what was going on, and whereas the NCAA they have no teeth evidently, and so you could go off on with your own conference and then say, okay, this is what we're going to do, whether it's salary caps, whether it's whatever. But at least we could enforce it, which led me to believe that there must be, I don't know who he was talking about, there were people out there just, the Wild West as far as recruiting and this sort of thing. And then the second part of that question is, we seem to be doing pretty good recruiting. So has something changed in our NIL makeup, or what the heck is going on? First of all, Kirby Smart and those comments about going off on our own, and second of all, where we are with this NIL, because we're recruiting very well. I attribute a lot of that to the coaching staff, but I don't know. So I would like your comments on that, please, Steve. Thank you.
All right,
thank you very much.
I have to do this real quick. Look, you've heard this thing about the SEC, quote, breaking away, unquote. I think that's just a huge bluff. But there's frustration. Coaches want national rules. They want to have, here's the rules we all have, and let's go. And that's not happening. So Smart's saying, well, if not, we'll make our own. Let's go. And then as far as NIL, Florida's doing fine with NIL, but I think a lot of this is attributed to the staff and what they've done. And I think Phil Troutwine has done a tremendous job getting offensive linemen here. He's got a great reputation. We'll take a break, come back. Daryl, John, Hank, we'll get to you. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
Era begins this September, right here on WRUF.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away. And they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
The commitment from IDC to first responders is really extraordinary.
Veteran firefighter Johnny Hinton talks about International Diamond Center's ongoing support for our heroes in uniform.
IDC has helped us raise just massive amounts of money.
Johnny says in addition to corporate gifts to support charity fundraisers, IDC is there every day, helping first responders with an extra 15% discount on any purchase.
Again, thank you guys so much.
International Diamond Center at Celebration Point.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
Summer in Gainesville means sunshine, barbecues, and storm season right around the corner. Don't wait until disaster strikes to think about your roof. Whether it's your home or your business, Atlantic Roofing has you covered. From inspections to full replacements, their expert team handles both residential and commercial roofing, built to stand up to Florida's toughest weather. Get ahead of the storm. Protect what matters most. Visit AtlanticRoofingFL.com today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing. Roofing you can trust, rain or shine.
Craving bold, authentic Cuban flavor? Head to Miapa Latin Cafe, where every bite brings the taste of Cuba straight to your table. From iconic Cuban sandwiches and fresh flaky empanadas to rich café con leche and perfectly sweet plantains. Every dish is made fresh daily for a true Latin experience. Proudly serving the community for over 23 years. And a proud supporter of the Florida Gators, Miapa now features 6 convenient locations ready to welcome you. Dine-in, drive-through, to-go, or catering, Miapa is your choice for crowd-pleasing Cuban favorites. Miapa Latin Cafe, the best Cuban food north of Miami.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
If it happens in Gator Nation, you hear it on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Peyton asks in an International Diamond Center email if they redo the College World Series bracket. And I believe I'm right in this, but somebody can certainly correct me, that there is no reseeding. The bracket is cast in stone. So whoever wins, for example, whoever wins the Super Regional that did or could have featured the number 1 seed will play their equivalent to the number 8 seed in the first game in Omaha. And then down the line. So I believe that's correct. Who's first here, Luis? John? Okay. Hello, John.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Steve. I tell you what, sometimes you guys are hard to figure out. I don't know if it's because you can't remove your orange and blue sunglasses or what, but I thought we was doing all right in that game at the beginning of the 6th inning when O'Sully, for some reason, decided to pull McDonald out. We was holding on up to then. I don't know if he's reading the Stargazing Gazette or his horoscope or what, but that's when the bottom fell out. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, John. Thank you. Hank is next. Hi, Hank.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for taking my call. I've been fortunate to be a Gator baseball fan. I started work at the University in '85, started following the baseball team in '86. UF has had some what I consider to be excellent coaches during that period. Some had different personal flaws and stuff, but as far as being good baseball coaches, they were really, really good baseball coaches. Anybody who thinks Sully needs to be fired doesn't know Gator baseball, doesn't know the game of college sports, and I will use the I words, they're idiots. Thanks for taking my call, Steve.
All right, Hank, thank you. Before I take Daryl's call, don't forget Gala Bank, Gainesville's only local bank, locally owned and operated, 350 years of combined experience, here to help neighbors, not just customers. You don't have to have an appointment, no sign-in sheets, no call centers. That's right, and anybody can cash a check there too. Gala Bank, 7515 West University Avenue off of Tower Road, member FDIC. Daryl, hello.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Good.
What do you think is more dominant now,
in softball? Is it the pitcher or maybe the hitters at this point? So I remember back in the day, didn't they do something to calm down the baseball and the bat in baseball?
Yes.
Maybe take some of that power away, or that, with, changing the bats. And do you think that needs to be done in softball, or maybe moving the fence back a little bit or something?
I think it merits a discussion of a couple of things in softball.
I'm on softball duty.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say, maybe somebody doesn't like my softball thing here. Okay. I think the fences need the length of that needs to be looked at, and I just think umpiring in softball, and I haven't watched 50 games, but what I've seen, they just don't call strikes. The strike zone is very tight. So, and as a former pitcher, I'm a little bit biased, but I think they just got to call the strike zone. And I'm not the only one who feels that. Michelle Smith, who's been doing, a lot of the games, a former pitcher, she was on the show, I think, last week, and she believes that too. And I do too. Just call the strike zone. That's going to help pitchers.
You think they put that, little the strike zone they have with the strike zone they have in baseball now, college baseball, is, from the electronic part of it, added to softball?
I don't know. I just think, again, I would imagine those umpires are graded as they are, in baseball. But and look, we still see 2-0 games in the College World Series, but we also see 10-8 games in the College World Series. So there's no question. There's more homers in the game now, and a lot of people like more offense. So we'll see where it goes.
All right, I appreciate it, Steve.
All right, Daryl, thank you, and thank your little one there. Let's see, Daniel in Georgia. Are you going to try to make a finals game, like on the secondary market, to watch a Knicks game in the playoffs in the Garden? I'd have to borrow money. It's ridiculous so no, the answer is no. And he says the Florida team didn't choke in baseball. They had a good season. Jim, in my opinion, the same Gator baseball team that got eliminated would have won the whole College World Series if they played it 3 weeks ago. I'm going to go back to, if you listen to the show regularly, Joe Healy was on the show from D1 Baseball. And he said Florida has the capability to win it all. He said it. He covers the SEC. 3 weeks ago, the bats were on fire. Pitching was incredible. I just think Florida peaked a little too early. I don't know if they peaked too early. Sometimes, Jim, you run into a hot team. Happens. YouTube question from Matt. Is Troy's run a true Cinderella story? Should we start viewing them as a legitimate national championship contender after beating Florida twice and eliminating Miami? They are a Cinderella in the sense of, did you know anything about Troy University before the regional? No. But they come from a league, Matt, that got 5 bids. So they don't play in a ham and egger league. You just don't know about them. Ryan, McDonald had thrown just 48 pitches and was dealing. O'Sullivan said he looked gassed. Was it smart management or overthinking the moment? Well, obviously, it didn't pan out, Ryan, so you could certainly second guess it. But in watching McDonald pitch this year, 50 pitches is about what his limit was. And certainly, Kevin O'Sullivan knows his players better than you and knows his players better than me. Now, could he have run them out there again for one more inning, on adrenaline? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, could you have started him as opposed to Cooper Walls? Yes. I mean, there's going to be second guessing here. And again, our YouTube question is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Facebook Live question, courtesy of Ruzog or State Farm from Kyle. Gators allowed 43 runs, 10 homers in the regionals. Is this simply baseball, or are there deeper concerns that must be addressed this offseason? It's baseball. Again, you run into a hot team. It happens. Aiden King was the SEC Pitcher of the Year. If he pitches the way he has pitched most of the year, right? But he didn't. Liam Peterson pitched poorly. And he's going to be a first-round draft choice, people. I'm just telling you. Every scout I talk to still thinks he's going to be a first-round draft choice. Because you can't coach 97. I'm just, a lot of people don't understand that. But that's just how it is. But yes, it is baseball. It is baseball. The deeper concern, I think, Kyle, would be this. Take last year and this year. Last year, what happened to Florida? There were some injuries, and they were bad. And then they regrouped. Give them credit for that. They regrouped, got enough wins in the SEC to get a regional bid, and they ran out of gas. I was there at Coastal. They ran out of gas. It took a lot out of them to just make it there, okay? But give them credit for that. But that's baseball. This year, they ran into a team that played great. That's also baseball. One final segment coming up. Still plenty of time to hear from you. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
Sports Center.
I'm Tori Kitchens. That's a wrap on Florida baseball season. The Gators lost 2 straight to Troy, ending the year 24-14 at home after the 10-2 final last night. Florida was the 8th seed in this tournament, and senior Blake Sear knew just how important that was.
We went through a gauntlet towards that end of the SEC and then into the SEC tournament, and we pulled through, and we got that top 8 seed, and we put ourselves in probably the best position to make it to Omaha and compete for a national championship possible. And that's what I'm going to remember, man. Like, this team, we didn't give up.
Sear and several other Gators, including Liam Peterson and Cade Kurland, now wait to see where they land in the MLB draft July 11th through 13th. But for Coach John Summerall, things continue to go well on the recruiting trail. The Gators secured their 18th commit in the 2027 class in 4-star offensive tackle Kennedy Jackson this morning.
Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference between a minor sprain and a significant issue. The team at UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine provide expert orthopedic care with locations in Gainesville and Ocala for everything from walk-in treatments to specialized surgeries and complex cases. Choose the providers who care for Team USA. Visit ufhealth.org/orthoexperts to learn more. Proud provider for the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Medical Network.
Attention local and regional CDLA drivers in the North Florida area. Pritchett Trucking is currently looking for local and regional drivers. Are you looking for a driver-friendly environment? Pritchett Trucking offers more home time, great pay, and great benefits, including health insurance and paid time off. And they also offer a quarterly performance and safety program, plus a sign-on bonus. Pritchett Trucking's regional drivers are home weekends and local drivers are home daily. If you're at least 23 years old and want a rewarding career with great pay, don't let the opportunity pass you by. Apply online at PritchettTrucking.com.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
It's the grand opening of the all-new Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC. We've just received a special factory allocation of GMC trucks and SUVs. New GMC Sierra, $329 per month. New GMC Canyon, $299 per month. We sell more, so you save more. At Davis Gainesville Chevrolet of the all-new Davis Gainesville GMC on North Main Street in the heart of Gator Country and at GainesvilleChevyGMC.com.
36-month leases, $84.99 due at signing plus tax tag title and dock. All rebates and incentives to dealer may include loyalty. Subject to lender approval. Expires month end. Together, let's drive.
This summer, bring every game home. Baseball, soccer, golf, like never before. With a stunning new home theater system from Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, surveillance, and smart home solutions. Delivering the best products, the best service, and the best price. Don't just watch the game, live it. At Electronics World. Gainesville's preferred choice for home theater, home surveillance, and smart home installation and service. Visit electronicsworldfl.com for more. That's electronicsworldfl.com.
Hey Gainesville, tired of big banks that don't know your name? Meet Galabank. Locally owned, locally operated. With over 350 years of combined experience, we're here to help our neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets, and anyone can cash a check on us. No extra charge. Local bank, local people. Galabank. Find us at 7515 West University Avenue off Tower Road. Galabank. Member FDIC.
Foodies, this is not a drill. Sensei Asian Bistro is now open in Celebration Point, right next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and it's bringing bold Japanese French fusion flavors you won't find anywhere else. We're talking smoked New York strip, rich matcha curry, melt-in-your-mouth Chilean sea bass, and the fan-favorite Chunggang chili chicken. Feeling adventurous? Dive into fresh crudo oysters or treat yourself to A5 Wagyu tataki. Add in handcrafted cocktails, and you've got your next night out covered. Sensei Asian Bistro. Come hungry, leave impressed.
When you're ready to roll up your sleeves or open new doors for the next generation. When you're ready to give your time where it matters most and put your heart behind every handshake. Radiant Credit Union is ready too. With partnerships, programs, and people dedicated to building stronger communities together, helping our community shine. Radiant Credit Union. When you're ready, let's get started.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Hot and humid this afternoon with increasing clouds, heat index values in the upper 90s. By the evening, we do expect thunderstorms to develop across north central Florida, and a few storms this evening could produce heavy rain rates and pockets of localized flash flooding. A few showers hanging on after sunset, otherwise mostly cloudy skies tonight, turning very breezy, humidity dropping, lows in the morning near 70. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
Gator football returns September 5th, right here on WRUF.
Dance.
All right, wrapping up Sports Scene for today. Thanks to Luis for producing the broadcast today. BB says, per Dan Patrick yesterday, yes, this is what he said. Lower level, cheapest seats at the Garden for Game 3, $12,000. Game 4, $14,000. And Game 6, $21,000. And you're asking me if I'm going to go to a game? No. I will watch, but no. Now, look, I've never been to an NBA final. I get it. It's my Knicks. I get that too. But that's tough. I want to tell you about Sensei Asian Bistro, Gainesville's best kept secret, finally revealed. Located right next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, bringing bold Japanese French fusion flavors you won't find anywhere else. Elevated dining meets unforgettable nights. Make your reservations today at Sensei Asian Bistro. And while I'm at it, I want to thank all of our sponsors here. Love you being here and being part of the show. If you want to be a sponsor, we can still make room for you. Just contact Freddie, 352-284-3733, and we will make that happen. Tomorrow on the show, Dick Girardi is going to preview the Preakness, a Another couple of interviews I hope will take place today. I only had one, Savannah Webster from Santa Fe College, recapping their tremendous softball season, because I knew today we'd be talking about Gator baseball, and understand that. Don't forget tonight, Rays and Tigers coverage begins at 6, and then that's after the tailgate, and that's going to be followed by Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, Vegas and Carolina. That's all coming up tonight. But Kevin and the Sports Lab gang are coming up next, and so we will say goodbye to you, and hopefully we will hear from you tomorrow and talk a little more sports. Always love doing that with you, and we always appreciate the time that you take to join us and be part of the program. Means a lot. Been doing it a long time, and it's still a whole lot of fun to do. And let's hope the Gator golf team playing now can get it together and stick around in the NCAAs. I'm Steve Russell. We will see you tomorrow, noontime, for a Wednesday edition of Sports Scene as you listen on WRUF. See you tomorrow.
Stand my ground, won't be turned around, and I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
The Tampa Bay Rays play here all summer long. WRUF.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
It's lunchtime, and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their gamberi salento, shrimp, fresh tomatoes, and zucchini sauteed in garlic and oil with penne pasta and Romano cheese.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Nobody does catering like P.F. Chang's. Elevate your gathering with our buffet-style catering pans. Packed with bold flavors and generous portions of your favorite dishes, we make it easy to serve and even easier to enjoy. From chopsticks to dessert, everything's ready for pickup or delivered right to your door. Choose individual meals, customizable catering packages, or build your own perfect